Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yokiman here. Welcome back to another episode of this Football Manager 2021 save here with Sevilla. And it's time to find out our Champions League fate. So boys, it all comes down to this one in this episode where we are going to take on RB Leipzig. And basically we win, we get Champions League knockout stages. We lose, we get Europa, or we get nothing. That is literally, it is all on the line. I've played a good chunk of games now. Felt like it makes sense to get through there. Let's have a look at how we've been doing. But first of all, a couple of things about the squad. We're starting to learn the team and figure out, what we like about the squad, what we don't like about the squad, which is always probably the most fun and difficult part of starting a new save. Jesus Navas has been given a contract until the end of his career here. He got 4 years in his deal. He's probably not going to play those 4 years, or at least I'd be surprised if he did, but he's been fantastic. He's not really lost any pace or anything so far, and as long as he keeps that, he is brilliant. Yes, he's terrible defensively, but we play quite aggressively now. We've changed our style of football a little bit. We've tweaked it, and he's fitting in very well. Also, since he was on the last year of his deal, we gave Thomas Valsic another contract, considering he's our starting goalkeeper at the moment. And we have actually just sold our second string goalkeeper to Real Madrid for 5 million because I wasn't using him and he was whinging at me all the time, the Moroccan, and couldn't even get in the national side. Not that I think he's going to play any game time for Real Madrid. It made sense for us to give him a new contract. There's also a few players at the club that are unhappy and we're looking to ship out. Vidal is probably going to leave. He's not happy. 31 for me, deadwood. He can go, as well as Vasquez. He's in his last year of his contract and he's awful. I look at his attributes. His attributes are quite decent, but for 66 grand a week, he's not good enough. He's had poor performances for us. He's not cutting it. He's going to be on the chopping block as well. At the moment, we're giving Sergio Gomez an opportunity. He's just had a poor performance, but we're giving him an opportunity. We'll see how he gets on. He's not on a huge wage either, which just makes it a little bit easier than the situation with Vasquez. So obviously, since Osasuna, which we lost drastically, which was awful, you want to know what's happened? This is what happened. There's 2 games in here that we've lost, and there's 2 games in here that I expected to lose. That's Man City. We lost 1-0 at home, which was expected. Rodri with a late goal. We actually played very well, but the away leg did not go too well. They absolutely smashed us. Acuna on a 5.9. They destroyed us. First half dominance, and in the second half, nothing really happened. We had a couple of opportunities. Maybe En-Nesyri should have scored a goal, but apart from that, nothing happened. Speaking of Nesyri, we found our striker. I've been umming and ahhing over De Jong, Munayer, De Jong, Munayer, De Jong, Munayer. It's Nesyri all day long. He is the best striker for us. I preach so much about pace on this game. We will click on striker. I preach so much about pace on this game. He's got it. He's good at finishing. He's scored 4 goals now for us, which is the joint top goal scorer with Rakitic. But a couple of penalties in there, obviously, for Rakitic. So he's the one for us, and I'm enjoying using him. He's come into his own recently. Yeah, he's our striker. He's our starting striker. De Jong's still there in the background. I don't really like Munayer that much. I think we might end up selling him. We drew 0-0 with Getafe, and this is where we started tweaking the formation. It just didn't feel like we had the players for the possession football that I wanted to play. At first sight, I felt like I did, but I don't think we did. We didn't have the composure needed was probably the biggest thing. So you need high composure when you're going to play a possession-based system, because if you're going to be put under the press, we need to still be able to ping the ball about nicely. We just couldn't do it. So the draw against Getafe, although they're a decent side, was where we turned it around. We come up against Eibar. The first time we've turned it around, Navas scores, Campos scores. They did get a goal back, but Guedes scored right at the end of the game. Guedes, I'm slowly starting to learn, is probably my best DM at the club for me because of his physicality. I do like some physical players in midfield. I like one player that we just allow to do whatever he wants, which would probably be Rakitic normally, and then a player that might be more aggressive going forward, and then one that is physically strong but has some defensive capabilities, and that is Guedes, so he's doing well there. We then played against Cadiz. We beat them 3-1, Nesyri with 2. Gomez getting a goal as well. He's not been great. I think his pace lets him down. The problem is we play advanced forward and inside forward, and he's probably not quick enough to get up to play fast enough for the breaks that we do, because we're very rapid on the break. I have noticed that the team play fantastic on the break. And the problem is with that is he can't keep up with Naziri, and I think that's probably led to him having a few problems. But he scored here against Cadets. We then played against Bruges, in which was a very, very important match for us because basically we lose this, we're out of the Champions League and most likely the Europa League. We passed the test with flying colours. We beat them 3-0. It was a great game of football as well. Very much enjoyed it. We were the better team outright. The entire game, we were the better side. But you always get a little bit nervous that if you're not banging in the goals, then you're not going to win or they're going to nick one late on. But luckily for us, Ocampos scored a penalty. Suso scored straight after that. And then Rakitic came on and scored. So it was basically the floodgates opened. And the more that Bruges tried to attack us, the more space there was for players like Ocampos and Naziri to run into. And it caused them a lot of problems. That leads us to the most recent game in the build-up to this Leipzig match. And it was a match that I was extremely nervous about because in the first minute, Levante scored the first highlight of the game, and then the next highlight of the game after that, they scored again. The same player, Morales. They scored 2 in 2 highlights, and I was like, oh no, this is dreadful. I know the tactic works. We know that. Sometimes the team might perform, sometimes they don't. I think some people think when it comes to Football Manager, you could just have a tactic, you put it in, you're going to win every game. I don't like to play like that. We know this tactic works now. We know this system works. We've seen it in previous games. We know we're capable of beating Levante. All I did was go positive. I told the boys to stop being more balanced and expecting them to attack us because they'd already broken us down too well. I told them to go on the front foot a little bit. And it worked. Naziri scored in the 32nd. Fernando scored very early in the second half. And then Oliver came on and scored in the 70th minute to give us the 3-2 victory. And Rayleigh just making that little swap, that little change to go a little bit more aggressive. I must admit, I brought Gomez and Vasquez off, who were the 2 players that were having horrendous games at the time. And it worked. We ended up coming away with a 3-2 victory. And we need to learn that that's something that we might have to do against some of the quote-unquote smaller sides. I think Levante is a decent side. In fact, I like Campana. He's a player who we're heavily looking at. And Ruben Vezo, I don't mind, but I like Campana. I think he would be someone who I would love to bring into our team, as I definitely clicked on him. He's just got great attributes. He really does. He looks very good for me. He fits the Spanish quota. I wouldn't mind Enes Brady either. He's a very talented player as well. So there's a couple of players I already know at Levante are very good players. So we knew it was going to be difficult. I'm just happy we managed to come back because now we've got Leipzig. So let's pick the team for the Leipzig game. And initially, this is the new formation, the new tactic. We're playing exactly the same formation. We just tweaked some stuff, some player roles, and the way we play. And now it is a little bit more on the counter. And I started to establish that we did have some good dribblers and some good players on the break. Gomez, again, jury out because he just can't seem to keep up with play. With his 13 pace, I don't know what it is. He needs to be the first man there. So when Campos receives the ball there, Gomez needs to be drifting there. And he struggled with it at the moment. I'm going to keep sticking with him because I really, really like him as a player. But it doesn't mean that it's going to work out for us. I've kind of already pre-picked this team. Apart from Sergio Gomez, who I'm going to drop, obviously due to recent performances, and bring in Koundé. Gomez's place here at the club is kind of up and down. There's a lot of players now that I'm starting to go, right, they can stay, this guy needs to go. And that's what happens when you get a little bit of time with the squad. And we're starting to learn what our best midfield partnership is. That's the most important part, the midfield for this. What's our best? And finding the striker as well that was going to find goals was important. Let's go into the Leipzig game full of confidence then, because we are, and pray that it goes well. Because knowing me, we'll lose this. But I've said it from the start that I'd be more than happy if we just kind of dropped into Europa League football. We are away as well, which causes us a problem in this one. I'm also very aware that I did start this save with a custom database, and then they have just released a winter update, basically 2 episodes in, which is a little bit frustrating. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest with you, until probably the end of the month, the start of the next month, but it happens. I'm happy with the update we've got anyway. It's got everything in we need. Let's go and try and get a result here against Leipzig. I will, obviously, as per usual, I will go to 3D for you guys. I'm very happy with the way we've been playing recently, so let's see. I want sideline, right? That's what I use these days, right? I think it is. As you can see, just a point difference between ourselves and Leipzig. I am a little bit cautious here that we might have to play positive and play a little bit more on the front foot, because RB Leipzig don't have to come here and win this. We do have to come here and win this, and it might be difficult for us. I've said it several times. That Leipzig squad is very, very good. This is going just a bit too fast for me at the moment. Let's see if there's anything happen. Now, knowing me, this won't be an exciting game of football, considering the one we've just played It won't be an exciting game of football. Ocampos, though. Naziri is there if he needs him. He chooses not to give him the ball. Naziri's going to end up with it. Gomez has to score that against Galaski, doesn't he? He's got to be putting that one into the back of the net. Unfortunate for us, but signs already that we're springing into action as they've dominated the early stages of this one. Marcus Acuna, Oscar, Gudesh here. He's got to find Asneri there, hasn't he? They've got two up top, which worries me, and Sorloth's in and surely will score. And that, I think, will probably be the Champions League dream gone, and it's a shame that it's Alexandra Sorloth that's ruining it for us. Although, don't count us out just yet. My issue here is we're pulled out of position by Poulsen, which I'm expecting with two strikers, and Kunde's just, I don't know, I think he's out for a nice stroll in the park and a decent walk, and he doesn't really care about what's going on. He's not here to play football today and just leaves Sorloth just doing whatever he wants to do, basically, and we've only had one shot on target. I mean, at this stage, we're just going to attack. We've got nothing to lose here, well, apart from European football, but we don't really have anything to lose. Goal difference-wise, we're well ahead of Bruges, and I think it goes on head-to-head anyway, which we are ahead of Bruges. We need 2 goals. Let's see if the boys have got it in them to get that. Marcus Acuna, again, though, having a terrible game, which is frustrating because I really rate him. You look at his attributes, he's fantastic, but he just hasn't played well recently. And also, I hate the fact that we're doing a live com, and again, on extended, we've had 3 highlights there. And it's ridiculous. The last game, highlights galore. Show me something else in the second half. Gudesh, who I've boasted about today, I might bring off. And Fernando as well. The midfield partnership's been fantastic recently, but not in this match, apparently. Let's see what the second half will bring. Hopefully goals for Sevilla. There's always a first highlight in a half, usually. And I'm assuming that's it. Yeah, it was giving us offside, so absolutely nothing happening there. And we've not got very good match ratings at the moment in terms of performance. If we get an early goal, no one even goes for that. If we get an early goal, I feel like floodgates could potentially open. But I feel like as this team as it is at the moment, we're always going to suffer against 2 strikers, especially when one's pretty strong and physical, like Sorloth, who they can knock the ball up to. And they've got a good back line. 3 at the back's always difficult to play against. I've always struggled against 3 at the back. And I don't think that's going to be a difference here. Sorloth now. It wouldn't surprise me if they score another, to be honest with you. Sosbalai, Adams, Olmo. Good play here from them. They've got some very good centre midfielders. Sorloth, Danny Olmo. Well saved in the end by Valsic. We're going to make some subs. It's not good enough. We're going to bring on Rakitic and Munayer as they nearly score again. See if that has any impact at the moment, but I'm not feeling like we've got enough to beat this kind of side. It's going to take a couple of seasons for us to build the team, which is fine. I understand that, but I just look at their squad and it's just far superior and far better built for this kind of competition. And against teams like us, it's just going to be difficult. It's always going to be difficult. Maybe we should have played on the counter, but I knew we needed to come and try and get something from this game. And look at this. They're passing through us at the moment. We need to sort this out. Not long left in this one. And we've really come out with nothing this second half. We've made the subs as well. And that's changed absolutely nothing. I'm going to demand more from the boys now. But I think they're down and out, to be honest with you. I think we're down and out. And it will be Europa League football, as Poulsen naily confirms that. We've not performed as we have in recent matches, which is frustrating because it'll be another live com loss. But I knew it made sense to bring this one, although it was going to be a difficult match against Leipzig. If we do score, though, which Kunde naily does, it does give us a chance. It does give us a chance. We've got a few more subs that we can make as Noah, Max, Ginter. And that's game over. We will make the subs now because we might as well. But that is game over for me. And I don't know what it is. Maybe still we're not 100% on the tactic. I've praised a couple of the lads today who have then gone out and had terrible performances, which is really frustrating. But we're going to make the final subs. We'll get the boys on and just see what happens now. Just see the game out, to be honest with you. I've got very little optimistic mindset that we're going to get anything out of this. And we don't deserve to be honest. We've not played well enough. Ocampos now is down on the floor, although I have already made the sub to bring him off. Doesn't really matter if he's on the floor. We've already made the sub. So we're going to have this corner, which wasn't taken very well. Gudesh, Kunde. I mean, we need 3 goals. The likelihood of that is very slim. Although we have scored 3 goals from being 2-0 down very, very recently. I just don't see that happening again. Carlos now. Well, it's what kind of pass we're putting out there into the world, then we don't deserve to do well. 2 strikers is a problem for me, and I think 3 at the back is a problem. What I'm lucky is I haven't seen many teams in Spain play 3 at the back, so it's not been too big of an issue. De Jong there, Oscar. Munayer, though, that's 1 back, and is there enough time? There definitely is. Will the floodgates open? Will Leipzig start to panic? And will we be able to find ourselves a result in this? It's good play. De Jong, link up, Oscar, Munayer, bang. Just mention that you're going to sell a player and then all of a sudden they'll start to spring into life. I mean, we don't have too much time left to get the rest of the goals. If we do score 3 here, we can't be doing that. You just can't be doing that. If we do score 3 here, though, that would be ridiculous twice in a row. It's always more difficult when you're away as well to get a comeback. Can we get the ball forward here? We can. Suso. Now, the decision-making here is going to have to be key. Suso. Munayer. He's going to score it, hasn't he? If Munayer scores that then, I have some faith, but I just think there's too little time left now. But a little bit of a fight back. I suppose that's important to see that there's fight in the boys. And, like we say, we know the tactic works now. We know that this style will work for us. It's just you've got to be on your A game to beat sides like RB Leipzig. We haven't been in this match. We've actually been pretty woeful. And quite a few poor performers. Guedes again, 6.2. He's in there really to run the centre of that midfield to help out with those 2 strikers. He has not done that in this one, unfortunately, for us. As RB Leipzig will probably look to find another. But I'm going to drop down to positive now, to be fair, because we don't need to be going for this game as Adams is through. And luckily for us, it's over the bar. Well, Bruges are actually beating Manchester City 2-1, which is just... You'd imagine that that's going to be the case anyway, wouldn't you? When obviously they're the worst team in the group. They'll go and beat Manchester City by a decent scoreline. It does mean nothing, though, because of the head-to-head. We will finish 3rd, and we'll go into the Europa League, and be one of the better sides in there. And I'm more excited for the upcoming transfer window, if I'm honest. And there we go. We do lose to RB Leipzig, who, to be honest with you, thoroughly deserved that. They were the far better team. Although we crafted some good chances towards the end of the game, RB Leipzig were just better than us, and we're really going to have to figure out a way how we deal with 3 at the back and 2 up top, because so far this season, that's what we've struggled with the most. My wing-backs didn't have good games, and really Guedes needs to be performing better than that. Hit and miss at the moment, but again, we're not that familiar with this tactic just yet. Well, Europa League football, it will be knocked out of the Champions League. I'm going to quickly go and take a cheeky look at what the board think about that, because they did want us to make knockout rounds, so they might be a little bit frustrated. They are a little bit frustrated, but at the end of the day, I think we'll still qualify for Champions League football. We are playing quite attacking, so I don't know why they're disappointed with that. We'll still qualify for Champions League football, and there's not much I can do about it. We got given, in my opinion, a very difficult Champions League group, and this is, in my honest opinion, this is not a Champions League quality football team. It will be by the time we're done with it, but at the moment, I feel like we're not great all over the pitch, and we don't have any real standout stars for me at the moment, which will obviously develop over time. There's a few of our players wanted, so the window is going to be interesting, and we will be into the January window in the next episode. Now, we've got some difficult games coming up, because Real Betis are 4th. It'd be lovely if we could get a win against them. Then we've got Atletico Madrid, and then a couple of easier ones. We might come back with a Barca game, although I just don't want to lose every time on Livecom. I just don't. So maybe we won't come back with a Barca one. We'll come back with Villarreal instead, a game that I feel like maybe we might have a chance of winning. But anyway, guys, if you're new around here, hit subscribe. Smash the like button. I appreciate the support as per usual, guys. Means a lot. I hope you're enjoying the series. I'm enjoying bringing it to you. I will see you in the next one, where hopefully we keep up the run of form in terms of how we're playing against sides that are in and around us. Atletico Madrid's going to be tough away, though.